AJ Styles could be out of action for over a year. The Briscoes were meant to be in the Wyatt family, and Zack Sabre Jr. is the new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Welcome to Wrestling Republic News, your daily show which brings you all the non-dirt sheet wrestling news in the time that it takes for you to drink your morning coffee. Let's get into it. But first, if you could like and subscribe, that would be massively appreciated. We make between 5 to 10 videos per week, in addition to a live podcast every single day, 8 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, where we get your thoughts, we share your comments on whatever we are talking about as well, and it's all completely free. All we ask is that you like and subscribe. Thank you. AJ Styles could be out of action for over a year. Last night, AJ Styles responded to a tweet on X which said that his injury wasn't legit, and he said, hey, it is legit, and unfortunately it's a Liz Frank injury. A fan then replied to the tweet saying that is the injury which puts running backs out for the season in the NFL, and Styles quote tweeted this saying, yeah, it is. A Liz Frank injury can take between 6 to 12 weeks to heal, which doesn't sound that bad until you realize it's really, really easy to re-injure it, so much so that they say for athletes they shouldn't return for over a year. This really, really sucks for AJ because it seemed like he was going to start his retirement run, he was going to start one final run in WWE, and now he's injured, he's going to have to rehab it for potentially over a year. I mean, it absolutely sucks. I mean, especially because we know this guy says that he wants, wrap it up young. He's approaching 50 now, and that just sucks. I feel bad for the guy. I always say that AJ Styles was actually one of my inspirations to start Wrestling Republic. I mean, he is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, and for him to get an injury like this right at the end of his career, it's heartbreaking. But of course, Shoot Wrestling Republic, we wish AJ Styles the best in his recovery, and we hope and pray that he does come back quicker than what is projected. The Briscoes were meant to be in the Wyatt family. Speaking to AIPT Comics, Mark Briscoe revealed that him and his brother Jay were supposed to be in the Wyatt family when they first debuted on July 18th, 2013. However, past homophobic tweets by Jay Briscoe resurfaced around that time, and because of that, WWE decided, hey, we're pulling the contract, this isn't happening. Of course, ever since sending those tweets up until his death in 2023, Jay Briscoe apologized for those tweets countless times, but in 2013, I mean, it wasn't that long since they were tweeted. It is unknown whether or not the Briscoes were meant to replace Rowan and Luke Harper, or if they were all meant to be in it together as a 5-person group. I mean, undoubtedly the Briscoes would have been a perfect fit for the group. Obviously, it didn't play out, and understandably so, but it's just very interesting to think what could have been. I mean, it's not all doom and gloom, right? Because the Briscoes had multiple great years in Ring of Honor after this and had, legendary tag team title runs. But it is just interesting to think how things could have been different if they were in WWE. Zack Sabre Jr. is the new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. In case you didn't know, in August, Zack Sabre Jr. won New Japan Pro Wrestling's yearly G1 Climax tournament, meaning that he earned himself a championship shot at a time of his choosing. Now, the tradition is that usually the G1 winner challenges the champion at Wrestle Kingdom, which is New Japan Pro Wrestling's version of WrestleMania. However, Zack Sabre Jr. went, I don't want to do it that way. I want to challenge you way earlier than that. Naito, I want to challenge you for the title at King of Pro Wrestling. And this shocked everyone. It was a big risk because, of course, if he lost, well, he wouldn't get the Wrestle Kingdom main event. But last night at King of Pro Wrestling, Zack Sabre Jr. did indeed win, and he is now the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. But of course, the question now is, what's going to happen at Wrestle Kingdom? Well, after the match, Zack Sabre Jr. was confronted by Sanada, Shingo, and Shota Umino, and Sanada has an opportunity next weekend in the United Kingdom at Royal Quest for the championship, so that is first on the agenda. But after that, well, Zack Sabre Jr. said he's going to need a few days to decide what he's going to do with Shingo, and of course Shota Umino. A lot of people are predicting that it's probably going to be Shingo at Power Struggle and then Shota Umino at Wrestle Kingdom. But here's the thing, right? Shota Umino is being pushed heavily by New Japan, and the reaction he's getting is now actually very, very similar to 2015-2016 Roman Reigns. The fans are turning on him. So it is going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. There could well be a twist. But also at the event, Hiroshi Tanahashi has announced that he will be retiring at Wrestle Kingdom in 2026. Now you might think to yourself, Well, it's a bit early to announce that, isn't it? It's over a year away. But in Japan, it's tradition to have a long retirement tour, facing multiple opponents around the world during that time, very often in tag team matches. If you don't know who Hiroshi Tanahashi is, he's a veteran in New Japan. He was the face of the company for years. He is a massive, massive celebrity now in New Japan, but he is also now the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling. I mean, undoubtedly, it's going to be sad to see, but it's going to be such a big celebration of a year for him. I'd be shocked if we don't see him in AEW in some capacity. I mean, it's also a little bit of a long shot, but I almost wouldn't be overly surprised if we saw somebody like Shinsuke Nakamura go over to Japan to face him during the retirement tour. But finally, in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling, the Young Bucks have been announced for Wrestle Dynasty. In case you don't know what Wrestle Dynasty is, basically it's going to be a collaborative show between New Japan, AEW, and CMLL, and it will take place on January 5th, 2025, the night after New Japan Pro Wrestling's biggest show of the year, Wrestle Kingdom. But what was really interesting was this was like a big announcement for the Young Bucks, so it does make me think there's not going to be many top stars from AEW going over for the show. Additionally, it will be interesting to see if AEW build up any of the feuds on their actual TV product. Because, for example, for Forbidden Door, New Japan don't usually build that many matches for that. I really do think it could be more of a thing where it's just AEW send over a few wrestlers, same with CMLL, rather than it being a proper, true collaborative show. Now it's time for the NXT preview, and it's a busy one this week. We are going to have Ethan Page versus Wes Lee versus Javon Evans in a triple threat match to find the new #1 contender for the NXT Championship. Oro Mensah will take on Lexus King in a gentleman's duel match. Meanwhile, Stephanie Vaquer will be making her in-ring debut as she takes on Ren Sinclair. Meanwhile, in the women's division, we are also going to be having Nikita Lyons versus Lola Vice. And back in the men's division, Riley Osborne will be taking on Rich Holland. We are going to have a Tony D'Angelo North American Championship celebration, and the Halloween Havoc Spin the Wheel will return. But that's all the news for today, guys. If you did enjoy, please leave a like and comment, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.